Welcome back to part 2, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the first part. If not, then why are you even here? I am not here to entertain. I am here to answer any and all questions and requests. So, that being said, it's time to continue on with part 2 of the Power Rangers Dino Thunder story as I remember it, plus the review in between it all. Starting it off with how it all began in the order that it was done in the show. The first one would be the Black Ranger. Tommy Oliver, you know, the White Ranger, the Green Ranger of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Red Zeo Ranger, the Red Turbo Ranger of halfway through Power Rangers Turbo, and in Forever Red made his special appearance once again, one more time, as the Red Zeo Ranger and the leader of the pack. So after Tommy passed the torch at being the Red Turbo Ranger, gave it up to TJ, that was it for him. His Power Ranger legacy was over until Forever Red. But before all that happened, he finally graduated through high school at Angel Grove. He moved on to college, and he graduated from that, and he became interested in science and technology. So he became a scientist, and he had a partner by the name of Anton Mercer, a rich guy who disappears not too long after that. He also had an assistant partner by the name of Terrence Smith, or Smitty as they call him. And one day they were working on this project and on this island alone in a lab. Go figure. Anyhow, this project was to be for the benefit of all mankind, as it was called. It was none other than the Dino Gems. So, the Dino Gems are created and their lab is under attack by evil space aliens, a bunch of monsters and a bunch of Tyranodrones as they're called, the Foot Soldiers. Or the first Foot Soldiers of Dino Thunder. Later on came the Triptoids. And they were all being controlled by this overlord by the name of Lord Mesogog. Tommy's story of becoming a Black Ranger is there was an episode called Back in Black. Go figure. So, in the episode, Elsa and Zeltrax, if I'm not mistaken, come across this thing that inside contains a black Dino Gem, or at least they don't know it was a black Dino Gem at first. They found out that it was filled with powers and stuff. I don't know what it was exactly. It looked like a fossilized amber or something. But when Tommy finds out somehow, he goes after it alone and tries to get it back. Because he probably yeah, that's right, he knew exactly what it was. He just didn't tell the Rangers. So there's an epic long battle. He gets it back in the process, but also in the process, he gets blown. Or at least it looks like he got blown away by Zeltrax. Instead, he didn't get blown away. As we all know, the black Dino Gem on the inside breaks through the amber because Tommy held it up like a shield while he was getting blasted. And it has the power of invisibility. Not invincibility, but invisibility. So Tommy reappears from out of nowhere. And then he pretty much morphs into the Black Ranger by using an extra Dino Morpher that he had on him the whole entire time. Go figure on that. So that's pretty much the story of the Black Dino Ranger. Now moving on to the White Dino Ranger, which is none other than Anton Mercer's son, Trent Mercer. Yes, Anton Mercer is alive, in fact. He appears out of nowhere. In one of the episodes where Trent first appears, him and his son are coming back to Reside. They're starting a business or something like that. His son doesn't want a part of it since he's an artist. He likes art. Everything about him was just art. And, you know, Kira, because he kind of had a crush on her or something like that. Or she had a crush on him. I don't remember exactly how it went. But something came to be around the time, right around this little mini-series of the White Ranger. Anton Mercer is discovered to be Mesogog by Trent. Not at first, until he sees the Invisiportal come out from his room. Anton Mercer goes in, and it leads to Mesogog's hidden base. And Trent goes in, being very stubborn and suspicious, goes right in there, and that's where he locates the White Dino Gem that Mesogog was able to obtain before Tommy got off the island with the other Dino Gems. And so he takes the Dino Gem, not knowing that it's possessed by pure evil at the time. And when he grabs it, he sees visions of him as the White Ranger destroying the Power Rangers, so pretty much beating the living crap out of them, in which pretty much throughout the whole entire miniseries, which is like 10 freaking episodes. That's more than Green with Evil Part 1 through 5, people. But that being said, yes, he is an evil ranger at first, but a little bit later on, when Tommy finds out who the White Ranger truly is, which is Trent Mercer, he's encased in amber, and we're not going into that story. Let's just get back to the White Ranger, pretty much. It all leads to the event where the White Ranger starts to become more successful, and he just gets the notion that he should be the leader. He should be in charge of the evil space aliens. So he tries to plan to betray Mesogog. He tries, but Mesogog finds out and discovers it very quickly. And he tries to destroy the White Ranger by using some kind of plasma beam or something. And, I mean, he's in pain and everything, but then, out of nowhere, Anton Mercer on the inside of Mesogog just pops, wakes up, and tries to save Trent's life. So Mesogog loses form and becomes Anton Mercer again. So Anton Mercer saves Trent, but in the process, the plasma beam blasts off and bounces around the whole entire lab, and somehow, by just great shooting, lands onto his Dragomorpher and breaks the spell instantly. And that's how the White Ranger became a good guy afterwards. And not too long after that, there was another evil White Ranger. Because there was this clone monster that, you know, was in one episode, got destroyed by the Rangers, but Zeltrax found the mutant's copy weapon. Some kind of scanner. And he used it to scan the White Ranger. I don't know exactly what he scanned of the White Ranger, but he did. And that created an evil clone. No trace of Trent Mercer on the inside. So they get into a battle for a couple of episodes, but then it starts to turn out that two Rangers cannot exist at the same place at the same time in the same form. So Trent Mercer is pretty much losing his powers, pretty much dying. Just like the evil White Ranger. So they make a final clash, a showdown between one another to the death. And with one swipe at the very end of a long, brutal battle, it turns out the standing winner overall was Trent Mercer. So the evil White Ranger is gone, and Trent Mercer is officially a good guy. I mean, he's the only White Ranger from then on. Completely good, nonetheless. And that's the White Ranger story. Now, for the Triassic Ranger, it's all a different story. I really can't consider the Triassic Ranger a Ranger, because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, it's none other than Connor McKnight. If anything, it's the start of his Battleizer form. Notice that, how it looks the same as the Triassic Ranger. I'm going to explain why in this. I'll save the Triassic Ranger figure, well, not the figure, I mean the Battleizer version, for another review, another day. But let's talk about the Triassic Ranger, how he came to be. To be perfectly honest, I don't remember this all true to heart, but I remember there was this, like, waterfall where inside, hidden inside the rocks that were buried underneath, is a Triassic shield that possessed the power of all Rangers combined. Even if it was just two Rangers absorbing the power into the Triassic shield in each and every single clip that they used in the show. That being the Yellow Ranger and the Blue Ranger. But anyway, I digress. So, it's up to Trent and the Black Ranger, Tommy, sorry, at that time, to get it out. And the only way they could do that was to use their dino powers. And Trent, being the most powerful Ranger of them all, was the only one that could really pull it out. But it was like heavy or something. I don't understand that. But anyway, the Rangers are out battling some monster that they can't beat. And Connor figures it out. He figures out somehow. I don't remember how. But he goes out there to where Tommy and Trent are. And he grabs it. Before it falls into the water where it's lost forever, he grabs the Triassic shield. And that's how the Triassic shield came to be in his possession. Tommy explains what it does and the ability and how it absorbs all the Ranger's powers to where he can have unlimited power, as they said. So, he goes back to help the other Rangers while they're, you know, battling the evil alien that I don't remember for sure, who was pretty much killing them. So, he's got the shield, and he tells them that I need to absorb your powers to have unlimited power to defeat this monster. So they do, thus creating the Triassic Ranger, which is none other than a mixture between the Red Ranger and the Black Ranger for the shield, the diamonds, the color variation, and all that kind of stuff, as you can tell. So that's pretty much how the Triassic Ranger came to be. Now, the only thing that I really didn't explain is his powers. What exactly is the Triassic Ranger's powers? What is his ability? Well, what he can do is he can throw monsters into other alternate dimensions or into space and pretty much freeze them in time and beat the living crap out of them until they're no more. That's really his story. I mean, that's all he did, really. That's how he finished off every single monster he was a part of, was throw them into space and just knock them down. That's the end of that. Now, I'm sure I did not explain the White Ranger's powers, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The only thing I remember of the White Ranger is who he is and what his weapon did. His White Drago sword actually created laser arrows that he could shoot at the Rangers. I don't remember the power of the White Ranger. If it was light, well then now I know. If it's not light, well then somebody please explain to me what exactly it was. So, I'm going to take a little break here, get a drink. I'll come right back after recharging my batteries, and we'll get to these three in the review at long last. The story's over, so be blessed. Okay, guys, we are back. Now, before I actually start the real review, I just want to say, if you stuck through that whole entire story of Part 1 and Part 2 of how I remember Power Rangers Dino Thunder, I want to thank you. If for those who did not stick around, if those who skipped to the review themselves because they just, they just didn't find it interesting, I'm sorry I bored you, okay? I am very sorry, but it had to be done, okay? I just had to do it. It was part of the request, alright? You guys asked for it. So there you go. I am very, very pleased for those who actually watched the review. Thank you very much. Thank you. Because, to be perfectly honest, I am tired. My tongue is sore after all that, but I don't think I've ever spoken that long. I don't think so. So yeah, talk about a world record for my side of toy reviews and all that. But I digress. There you go, guys. There's a little bit of knowledge to you, and hopefully I got most of that right. So we're a minute in for what I'm recording now in this. This is all a mix, of course, but this is starting of a new clip here, so we're in the new review now. This is all just the toys themselves. No longer are we talking about the story. Here we go. Let's get to the toys. Let's start off with the Black Ranger since he was first. Articulation is pretty much the same as the other Rangers. I really do not have to go into it. There's no wrist rotation. There's no waist rotation. Legs go up, back, in and out. Bends at the knees and swivels as well. And that's really it for articulation. His weapon of choice, just like in the show, a brachio staff. Which, I guess it's a staff. It's kind of like Saba. Kind of, it's got a head of an animal or a dinosaur. So yeah, there you go. What it did in the show was it protected him. It created like a bubble shield around him. If I recall, if I'm not mistaken, it also created some kind of energy orb that he could shoot at Zeltrax all the freaking time, if I'm not mistaken. Sound features on the Black Ranger is none other than this.
Rangers unite!
And if you notice very carefully, this is not the actual painted on Dino Thunder symbol on the figure. I'm sorry, this figure is old, it faded off. This is nothing more than just a sticker. Which isn't really that good either. Just good enough for me. So there's the Black Ranger. Now the White Ranger. Let's talk about this figure right here. He's gone through hell and back. This figure is almost as close to show accurate as you can possibly get. I kid you not. He is that good. And he is fully painted. There's not a speck missing on him. Fully painted. Okay, fine. The gloves are not painted. So what? So the gloves aren't painted. The rest of the suit is painted. You can't get any better than this. Look at this. They even went to the... Look at that. Look at that. They actually went to beyond what they usually do for sculpting and did the best they could for his belt buckle. It's like it is in the show pretty much. And his sound gimmick? I really don't want to talk about his articulation, however. The fact being that he suffers through it, and it's not because of what he actually has. No. The way that I can explain this is, don't let your brothers play with your toys back then, because, look at this. The head does not turn anymore. It did, but it doesn't anymore. The head broke off. I had to super glue it back on the best I could back then. I could do a lot better nowadays, but I'm not going to. It's pretty much a brick. It's not going anywhere. Sad, but true. Very sad. His weapon of choice is his white Drago sword. Like I said during the How I Remember Dino Thunder review of this part. Yeah, unfortunately this is not the actual weapon he came with. Now, bear with me. Bear with me. He did come with the Drago sword. Unfortunately, it was not this one. This one came with a later on release of a not a Raptor Rider, but more of a Drago Rider set with another mini White Ranger figure about this size compared to him. It looked pretty good. It was also a Japan release as well, if I'm not mistaken. It came with two of them, like I said, the one where it's closed up and the one where it's opened up to make it look like a longer blade. Anyway, what happened to the original one, I have no idea, okay? I've got so many Power Ranger weapons that I lost it. And I did search high, and I did search low to find it. However, a good point about this one is that it does stay in the holster a lot better, and might I also say that it is the actual size of the original one he came with. I kid you not, it is the same size as the rubbery white molded version. So there's some good points right there, and that's why he's got it. And last but not least, the Triassic Ranger, which is not a original Ranger himself. It's not a separate Ranger. It's just the Red Ranger, like I said. And I don't want to talk about it again. His weapon of choice, the Triassic Shield. Now, this is the one that does not open. It's not molded to open. There was a limited quantity release of this figure back in the spring wave that actually did, in fact, have a blade that could pop out of the Triassic Shield. I did have that one. However, I lost it. Just like the white Drago sword, or whatever it's called. I lost it. I am terribly sorry about that. I wish I could show that off. If you don't believe me, you can find pictures on Ranger Board. There was a limited quantity release of the spring wave of the Triassic Ranger that did have an extended sword out of his Triassic Shield. I'm sorry I don't have it. He also came with a Thunder Blaster. It's molded in red so you don't get confused with the other Rangers, which I guess is okay. It looks pretty good. And that's really it for him. There's only one difference in his articulation, unlike the others. Wrist rotation. He came out around the same time as the Black Ranger, the Red Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the White Ranger. He came out around the same time as all of them, and he's the only one that got the wrist treatment. Why? Why, Bandai? Why? It doesn't make it any easier for him to hold his shield. Sometimes his wrist would like to curve around, and that's pretty much that. But for his sound gimmick,
T-Rex attack!
and let me go ahead and tell you, that is a nice helmet sculpt. I like that. That is so freaking cool. I really do like that. The best part about this suit. It's just so awesome. He's a very cool Ranger if he were actually a real Power Ranger, but he's not. But the way that Bandai America produced this figure with vehicles and cycles and gimmicks, you know, other action feature Rangers out there, they made it like he was an actual 6th Ranger. But I digress. He is not. He is not. They also came with other weapons. And I'm going to go ahead and show this off to you right now. Once again, the Z-Rex Blaster. Remember, this did not come with these Rangers right here. The Brachio staff in the show did combine with the Z-Rex Blaster to make it a more powerful killing machine. Unfortunately, it does not combine with this one that came with the Black Ranger. Unfortunately. In order for you to get a Brachio staff that combined with the Z-Rex Blaster, you would have to also get the Black Ranger that came with the action feature figures. Tongue twister. Sorry, I'm tired. there's a little gap right there where it can actually, slide in, and there you go. Oh, and you're supposed to turn the head first. That's right, you turn the head of the brachiostaff to where it's looking forward, and then you slide it in so it doesn't pop off again, and there you go. There's the ultimate combination of all the Dino Thunder weapons. Right there. So there's that. And the only real difference to notice is that there's a black peg right here, which I don't remember why there is, or what it's for the figure, and the head turns. And that's really the difference. Now, additional weapons. Triassic Ranger came with swords that are obviously feet, which we're about to get into. Black Ranger came with cannons, which he can only hold with one hand since his wrist can't rotate. Now that's what really pisses me off about this. During the production line, they slapped on the back of the packaging with the also available. The Black Ranger figure shown on the back of the card packaging was able to hold the cannons with both hands. Both hands, because he had wrist rotation. Screw you, Bandai. And then the White Ranger comes with this. He comes with some wings that, he can attach to the back of his shield. Hence being the point right here. Those two little holes. And these tabs right here. Pegging the hole, and there you go. So yeah, he can fly around. I believe I can fly. I'm not going to do that again. That's as bad as singing Reach for the Stars. Which, I'm not going to tell where you can find that one. Anyhow, all the weapons combined into a single Build-A-Figure, which, if I'm not mistaken, was pretty new with Power Ranger toys. They pretty much pulled a Marvel Legends here, a Build-A-Figure. You take the swords and you fold in the blades, and there you go. There's your feet, which you can't see. I'm sorry. Okay, now we have our feet. You take the cannon, and you peg the feet inside like so, creating the legs. And I'm going to go ahead and peg the wings on first, because if I don't and I try to put this on last, I always knock him off of assembly. I really do. This waist piece is not tight. You peg it in, and there you go. You have yourself the so-called Phantom Ranger. Now, here's my question to you guys. For a little brief history on my channel, does this figure look familiar with a stop motion project I did back when? So, he really has a hard time standing. I'm going to go ahead and just show you how I take care of that. Just bring those down, the blades, and there you go. Now he's got stability to the forest. See? To the forest. So, that's really it for the Phantom Ranger. I mean, he really doesn't do much. He's got a little bit of articulation. Swivel head. Swivel shoulders. The shoulders also do go in and out. Do the transformation pretty much. He's got rotation right here. He's got rotation right here. He's got rotation at the wrist. No waist rotation due to the combination. He's got leg joints, but like I said, he comes apart pretty easily. At least this one does. I've got two versions of this guy. Leg goes up, leg goes back. They do go in and out. They don't bend at the knees. However, it does actually rotate at the knees. So he's got a pretty good amount of articulation. He's just missing elbow and knee joints, and he would have been a perfect figure. But I mean, really, what can you expect with a Build-A-Figure? So, overall, that's it, guys. I mean, that's the whole entire wave of, Series 1 of the Power Rangers Dino Thunder figures, the basic core Rangers. I've got nothing else to say, unless somebody out there's got something to say, so I'm done with this.